Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pattern Shift on Dr. T TV. I'm Dr. T, and this is the place where we shift reactions into intentions so we can all live our most elevated life. The pattern shift we're doing today is a really good one, and boy, do we really need it now. The pattern shift that we're doing is to replace fighting with funny. Now, I know this may seem like a stretch for people, but I'm here to help you make the shift. And see, I'm already laughing because it's so much more fun when you make this shift from fighting to funny. It's so good. I want you to join me in this. So we all know that the pattern of fighting is just brutal. It's brutal. It is the opposite of fun. And this pattern of fighting, we can think like, this is who we are. Or we can think this is how we operate, or this is how someone operates, or you can think this is something you're stuck with, or that we're stuck with as a society or as a family or whatever. Just we think fighting is just part of the deal. And I'm here to tell you that fighting is just a pattern, and it's got a lot of momentum, been a lot of fighting ever since, humans were humans. And there's a lot of fighting, like in the whole, I guess, Earth kingdom, things are duking it out, and, a lot of fighting going on. It's in our, system of Earth here, the pattern of fighting, brawling, just thinking of all the different species, and, there's a lot of fighting going on. Now, at the same time, if we really check our facts, we are a very evolved society, and we just need to evolve emotionally, right? We want to evolve so that our emotional intelligence is much more sophisticated, and that the way that we navigate life is so much more current and advanced, because we are advanced. We just, continue to do some like old draconian style patterns that just run away with themselves, and fighting just creates a lot of damage. It creates a lot of damage. It hurts the person doing it. It hurts the person. It hurts anybody engaging in it. It really leads to zero productivity at all. And it only leads to more of itself. So I'm here to help you replace fighting with funny, because just when you start to say funny, things get funnier. So any scenario where you start to feel the pattern of fighting, or you start to recognize you're in a fight, or you're fighting, or someone's fighting with you, you feel like, oh, so I'm starting to, amp it up here. I'm going to invite you to replace fighting with funny. Because if we were all to like zoom out and watch what this fighting pattern does, we would be laughing our asses off, because it's really funny how riled up humans can get, and just spinning and attacking, and just it's got a lot of momentum. And if we really, if somebody was zooming in and watching it, and if somebody was like watching you, which let's just say, is a very observant universe, right? So everything is occurring, and there's essentially a way in which we're watching ourselves. Other people with us are watching us. And if we were to really zoom out and just watch the whole fighting process that goes along, that goes down with people. And honestly, here's the other pattern. Here's the other part of this pattern is all this fighting is like fighting with yourself, fighting with other people. Other people are fighting. Wars are being fought. This fighting, we're going to fight to create things. We're going to fight injustice. Like, let's replace this pattern with funny. Let's replace it. And everywhere that you would have ever had fighting, and you would have done fighting, or you would have engaged in fighting, or you would have fought with yourself and keep fighting with your own self, and fighting with other people or have other people fighting with you and doing any of this fighting pattern, we're going to make a very profound shift here. This pattern shift is taking and replacing fighting, right? Where fighting is here, we're going to go ahead and replace it, and we're going to put funny. So now when the fighting, if the fighting pattern ever starts to pop up, you just go to funny, and you're like, you know, funny. You're going to do funny. You start to say, I'm doing funny. And you start to think of something funny. And I really invite you to have some reserve funny stuff on reserve. Have it on reserve right now, just as a recommendation. I've been following, I've been watching Sebastian, the comedian Sebastian Maniscalco, and I have been laughing my ass off. I have been laughing in a way that is so full-bodied that now I'm like conditioned for this funny. And so if anything starts to get amped up in myself or in my life or with anyone in my life, I'm just putting funny in there. And there's lots of things that are funny, including the word funny. And there's lots of things that you can have as reference points for funny. And I promise you, your partner, your friends, your siblings, whoever, you're anybody that you would have been fighting with, or they would have been fighting with you, just drop in this funny and let's just do this pattern shift. You're invited to it for the rest of your life. Everywhere where fighting would have been, you're putting funny. And now you map that out. You go, wow, if I can imagine what my life would be if everywhere I would have been in anywhere around the pattern of fighting or doing it or experiencing it, now it's funny. Just know you're gonna feel really freaking good. You're gonna be laughing, you're gonna be healthy, and you're gonna have more funny, because everywhere you put funny in, it's more funny and more funny, and you're gonna get the experience of how funny it is to be a human being. And that's really gonna, up level everything for you. And imagine our whole world if everybody was, instead of where everybody's fighting, we had in its place funny. Just think about our whole atmosphere and how amazing that would feel around us. And that is the pattern shift that we are doing today, which is why if this pattern shift is helping you, I'd invite you to share it with other people so they can do the same pattern shift and get in on this. So also, if shifting these patterns is helping you and you want to learn more about how emotional training works and these different strategies and mechanics that we do at Dr. Tracy Inc. as part of our emotional training company, you can head on over to drtracyinc.com and you can check out how we make all of this work, how we change these patterns, and how we do this for so many people who get to spend their lives, instead of having fighting, they're getting the funny, and we're here to help you too. So this is just one pattern shift. There's more to come. And in the meantime, just thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care.